65 years ago, the world came to the brink of total destruction after a devastating nuclear war. Overnight, the global power grid collapsed, and every major communication network across nations failed. Humanity entered a technological dark age. In the ruins of the Amazon rainforest, a botanist and genetic engineer made a groundbreaking discovery: the Genesis tree. Its rare flower could store an extraordinary amount of energy, far more than any known power source. This discovery allowed the world to rebuild, and Genesis trees quickly became the new backbone of civilization. Since then, all Genesis trees have been tightly guarded and kept under strict governmental control. After the war, a new crisis emerged. Roughly 90% of newborn children develop severe genetic disorders caused by radiation exposure. To overcome this, scientists engineered a method to integrate the Genesis flower's energy into the human genome during pregnancy. The result was a new class of enhanced humans, people with upgraded senses, superior strength, heightened reflexes, or other biological improvements. They became known as genetics, and they rose to power, living privileged lives in advanced cities. But 10% of the population reacted differently. Their immune systems rejected the enhancements entirely, leaving them weak, sickly, or disabled. They became known as specials, and society treated them like defective outcasts. Discrimination became the norm. Specials were assigned to the lowest jobs: sanitation, maintenance, and grunt labor. They were allowed to live, but never to thrive. Inside the heavily secured Genesis Institute, a young girl named Chloe pretends to be just another student on a school field trip. Her partner, Leon, confined to a wheelchair, disguises himself as a janitor. When the moment is right and the tour groups are distracted, Leon approaches a secure door and uses a small device to bypass the lock, gaining entry into a restricted wing. Studying the layout from his wrist display map, he spots two guards patrolling the hallway. To avoid direct confrontation, he deploys a mechanical mouse fitted with a hidden payload. The guards notice the little robot scurrying across the floor and chase after it. As soon as they pick it up, the mouse releases a burst of sleeping gas, knocking both men unconscious. With the guards down, Leon steals their keys, crawls into the facility's ventilation system, and attaches a gas tank into the ducts. A moment later, the lab scientists begin collapsing at their stations, one by one, until the room falls silent. Wearing a breathing mask, Leon approaches a sealed lab door, but the code panel rejects his entry. He calls Chloe for help. In the main hall, Chloe overhears two boys mocking specials, claiming people like her partner should be eliminated. Furious, she provokes them into a confrontation. The commotion immediately draws a guard, who steps in to separate them. While pretending to be shaken and apologetic, Chloe nimbly slips the guard's notebook from his pocket. Inside, she finds a current door code and relays it to Leon. With the correct code in hand, Leon slips into the laboratory. He retrieves an old watch, his mother's, from his pocket. Engraved on the back are her words: "We are all one. We are all equal, renewed with purpose." He approaches a protective chamber containing the Genesis tree. Using a modified cutting tool, he slices through the chamber's reinforced glass. The tree reacts violently, firing needle-like spikes in his direction, but his protective suit absorbs the impact. Leon manages to sever one of the glowing flowers and stores it inside a reinforced blue capsule. Alarms instantly blare throughout the building, announcing an imminent lockdown. Staff evacuate in a panic. Chloe tries to hold her place in line, hoping Leon will make it out in time, but guards force her to move with the rest. Luckily, she spots Leon exiting just in time. Outside, Leon intentionally bumps into Chloe, causing her teddy bear to fall. When he returns it to her, the guards search him, but they find nothing except his mother's watch. They mock the inscription and call him a freak. Meanwhile, a guard with enhanced vision scans the students for unusual items but sees nothing suspicious. The stolen flower remains safely hidden inside Chloe's teddy bear. Later, Leon and Chloe watch a live broadcast on a massive outdoor screen. Senator Frank passionately promotes his latest political campaign, granting genetic enhancements after birth. He promises a revolutionary cure that will finally allow specials to receive upgrades. Following his speech, celebrity singer Mira announces that she will perform a concert in the special district, offering free tickets in support of genetic unity. As they dispose of their disguises, Layan explains to Chloe that celebrities and politicians pretend to care about specials only when it benefits their public image. Down the street, a struggling special man tries to buy food, but the shopkeeper kicks him out. A janitor urgently wipes away graffiti on the store window, reading, "Death to Genetics." Meanwhile, in her dressing room, Mira's manager warns her about appearing in the special district. The area is volatile, and the crowds will be enormous. He urges her not to attend the upcoming autograph signing. Mira rejects the idea, insisting she must meet people face to face if she ever hopes to unite the divided classes. Returning home, Layan and Chloe reach the guarded entrance to the special district. The guards scan their IDs before stepping aside. Inside their humble workshop, Chloe tends her plants while Layan repairs prosthetic limbs, implants, and mobility devices for other specials using harvested Genesis energy from the stolen flower. Their clients pay just enough to keep the pair fed and sheltered. When work is done, Chloe receives a call from a man in the genetic district who desperately needs a mechanical repair. She tries to refuse, explaining they do not perform off-site service, especially not in the upper-class district, but the man offers triple their normal rate. Layan accepts the job instantly, despite the danger. He assures Chloe they will not be caught. After all, he has memorized every guard patrol schedule and knows several hidden openings in the perimeter walls. They arrive at a luxurious restaurant, slipping inside to the back door thanks to the chef, a special who uses a mechanical exoskeleton to move. Just as Layan begins repairs, a gang known as the Anti-Genetics storms through the front entrance. They cut the power and begin violently beating customers, Genetics, without hesitation. Layan finishes repairing the chef's exosuit, but a moment later, the wounded chef staggers into the kitchen and collapses, dead. With the gang still smashing furniture and murdering patrons, Layan and Chloe try the back exit, but has been locked. They need another escape plan. Layan asks Chloe to help him strap into the chef's exosuit. Minutes later, two gang members enter the kitchen, seeing only the chef's lifeless body on the floor. Layan and Chloe hide quietly behind the counters. While the thugs vandalize the walls with graffiti, one drops a small paper. Chloe sneaks forward and retrieves it. Suddenly, Layan loses control of the suit. A damaged servo jerks him upright and slams him onto the metal counter. The gang immediately rushes him. Layan defends himself with nearby pots and boiling water. During the chaos, the boss's mask shifts, revealing part of his face to Chloe. As the fight intensifies, Chloe grabs handfuls of powdered flour and throws it into the attacker's eyes, giving Layan enough time to break free. The pair push the suit's powerful legs against the stuck back door until it finally bursts open, and they escape into the street. Layan stumbles as the damaged exosuit malfunctions, forcing Chloe to support him until they reach safety. The next morning, security footage of the restaurant incident reaches the media. Reporters falsely claim that Chloe and Layan are members of the Anti-Genetics gang. Police urge citizens to report any information about them. Captain Hughes of the Special Forces appears on television, accusing the Special District of harboring criminals and promising a major police raid. Horrified, Chloe and Layan recognize Hughes as the masked gang leader from the restaurant. Chloe unfolds a paper she stole. It's a flyer for Mira's concert with a small map drawn on it. The Anti-Genetics plan to attack the event and blame the specials to start a civil war. Layan panics and starts packing, determined to flee the city. Chloe cries and begs him to help stop the attack, but Layan insists that a paraplegic man and a 12-year-old child cannot save anyone. Heartbroken, Chloe runs away. Memories resurface. Layan as a teenager, sneaking into his father's office, reading his classified medical file, and discovering he was a special. His father caught him in the act. The pain on Layan's face is unforgettable. Back in the present, Layan stares at his mother's watch again. Her message echoes in his mind. We are all one. We are all equal. With a deep breath, Layan chooses to act. Hours later, Chloe returns to find Layan upgrading the exosuit. She helps him lock the armor into place as he tests its new movements, stronger steps, reinforced limbs, and new internal channels Chloe has engineered for chemical enhancements. Meanwhile, Mira's concert electrifies the special district. Thousands flood the streets, pushing against the fencing, overwhelming the guards. When the show ends, Mira heads for her bus, only for corrupt guards to ambush her and knock out her security team. At that moment, a truck screeches to a halt. The anti-genetics jump out, painting graffiti and preparing for the next stage of their plot. Hughes grabs Mira, warning her to cooperate if she wants to live. Before he can drag her away, Layan leaps from a balcony in full exosuit armor. He attempts to fire chemical projectiles, but Chloe's improvised ammunition unexpectedly sprouts plants and vines from his arms. The gang mocks him, but Layan uses the vines to entangle several attackers. Chloe pulls up in a stolen vehicle, yelling for Mira to jump in. Layan dives into the car, and Chloe speeds them away as Hughes and his gang give chase. The trio barely escapes into the special district. Once hidden, Mira tends to Layan's injuries and gently wraps his wounds. She reveals her long-held dream of becoming a doctor, saying she always wanted to help people rather than just entertain them. Chloe proudly shows a drawing she made of Layan as a plant-powered hero, though Layan blushes with embarrassment. Mira praises the artwork and encourages Chloe to keep drawing. Layan explains the full truth about Hughes and the concert attack. Mira realizes the next target must be Senator Frank's upcoming visit to the Family Planning Center, and they have very little time. She suggests going to the authorities, but Layan stops her. Hughes is the authority. They need a plan. The next morning, Mira and Layan disguise themselves as a couple seeking post-birth genetic treatment. At the Family Planning Center, Mira tells the staff she came without an appointment to avoid being seen by the press. Layan backs up the story and convinces the doctor to privately give them a tour of the facility. As they walk through the halls, Layan quietly slips a set of unattended keys into his pocket. Later, he distracts the staff by announcing that Mira will give them a private performance, drawing everyone into the auditorium for safety. As the crowd gathers around her, Layan and Chloe set their real plan into motion. Moments later, the doors crash open. The anti-genetics have arrived. Layan confronts the gang alone in the lobby. They immediately attack, forcing him to spray a series of gas bombs that cause their masks to melt and their eyes to burn. He fights them off with enhanced strength from the exosuit, but the sheer number of attackers overwhelms him. The gang tackles him to the floor, beating him relentlessly. Hughes rips off Layan's mask, exposing his face. Just as the gang prepares to land a final blow, a security team loyal to Senator Frank storms the lobby. The anti-genetics scatter instantly, escaping through the rear exits. Mira runs to Layan's side. She reveals she called Frank for help because she knew Layan could not take on the gang alone. Layan is stunned and confused. Why didn't Frank's men pursue the fleeing rebels? When he asks, Frank replies coldly that only one priority matters: his son. Layan freezes. Mira turns to him, confused. It is then revealed that Frank is Layan's father. Chloe overhears the exchange from behind the doorway. Shocked and hurt, she believes Layan has been lying to her the whole time. Without saying a word, she runs away in tears. Moments later, reporters flood the lobby. Frank immediately shifts into politician mode. With cameras rolling, he gestures to Layan and declares his son living proof of why the gap between genetics and specials must be erased. He demands that everyone support his project for post-birth genetic unity and vote for change the next day. A week later, Frank's proposal is celebrated as a near-unanimous victory. Government buses roll into the special district, rounding up all specials to transport them to an isolated medical treatment camp. Officials claim they will receive enhancements and rejoin society afterward. Many specials board the buses with hope. Chloe searches desperately for Layan, but he is nowhere to be seen. At the medical camp, Frank visits Layan in a private room. Leyen asks if they have found Chloe, but Frank claims they have searched everywhere. When Leyen questions Hughes' involvement with the anti-genetics, Frank quickly changes the subject and insists on performing Leyen's enhancement procedure immediately. Leyen hesitates. Years ago, Frank tried to cure Leyen's frail mother using experimental gene therapy. She died. When Leyen confronts him about this, Frank breaks down, admitting he made a terrible mistake. He pulls out a sealed letter. Leyen's mother wrote it before she passed, but Frank had been too afraid to hand it over. When he finally decided to give it to his son, Leyen had already vanished from home. With trembling hands, Leyen opens a letter. His mother's final message fills the page, an apology for leaving, a confession of her fears, and a plea for her son to protect his heart from hatred. "Family stays together until the end," she wrote. Leyen silently wipes away tears. Mira gently leads Leyen outside for air. While walking along the tents, Leyen spots Chloe. She runs into his arms. The two share a tearful reunion. Gathering Mira and Chloe close, Leyen reveals a suspicion. Frank orchestrated the anti-genetics attacks to manipulate public opinion. The violence created fear. Fear created support, and support ensured the vote would pass. They need proof. Chloe gets an idea. She borrows a recording camera from a man with a mechanical eye prosthetic. When doctors call the next patient for enhancement surgery, Chloe quietly sneaks through an air vent leading into the laboratory. Inside, Hughes speaks privately with Frank. Chloe records every word. Frank reveals everything. The enhancements are a lie, the program is a cover, and the specials are not being cured, they are being harvested. By sedating specials and extracting biomaterial from their brains, Frank plans to create a genetically pure essence that can be injected into genetics of any age. It is not a cure. It is a new class of superhuman. Hughes smirks, calling specials nothing more than raw material. Frank refers to his plan as the future of evolution. He admits the only reason he pursued this project was to save Leyen and secure power. He has no intention of helping the special population at all. Chloe secretly uploads the footage to the camp's communication hub. Mira is devastated. She steps before the gathered specials and confesses she had no idea Frank was capable of such cruelty. Leyen steps forward, quoting his mother's words. "We are all one. We are all equal." He asks the specials to stand with him and fight back. They agree, but Leyen needs one thing first: his suit. Fortunately, Chloe stole the storage keys. The next day, Frank and the medical staff enter Leyen's room to begin the procedure. But Leyen is ready. He reveals the exosuit strapped beneath his blanket and lunges forward, capturing Frank in seconds. He grabs the essence injection syringe from the nurse's tray and bolts from the room. Frank begs his son to stop, insisting he only wanted to save him, but Leyen calls him a monster and seals him inside the room before running down the hall. Chloe arms Leyen with extra chemical pods, while Mira gives him a quick hug for courage before he sprints toward the security center. Leyen crashes into the control room, fighting off two guards. He takes heavy punches but manages to bring both men down. However, before collapsing, one guard hits the alarm button. Sirens echo across the camp. Chloe connects her camera to the main console, transmitting the incriminating video to police headquarters. The upload requires 5 full minutes. She holds her breath as the progress bar inches forward. Outside, hundreds of specials gather in the open yard. Hughes storms in with the anti-genetics, ready to slaughter them. But instead of fleeing, the specials stand firm. Leyen emerges from the building in full armor. The battle begins instantly. Specials wield anything they can find, pipes, pots, tools, and attack the gang side by side. Their overwhelming numbers help even the odds. Leyen smashes through enemies with enhanced strength, flipping men with single blows and sending others flying with gas-spraying gauntlets. But the tide turns when Hughes signals for backup. More anti-genetics enter with firearms. Bullets cut through the crowd. Specials fall to the ground. Leyen charges Hughes, grappling with him in hand-to-hand combat. Hughes is stronger than he looks and eventually forces Layan to retreat. In the security center, an attacker grabs Mira around the throat. Chloe desperately tries to help, but is too weak. A nearby special rushes in, knocking the man unconscious just in time. The upload completes. Chloe sends a video straight to the police. Layan crawls into the main laboratory, badly injured. Hughes follows, beating him mercilessly across the room. Layan grabs control panel, opening the Genesis tree's chamber. He fires a projectile at the protective glass, cracking it. Hughes tackles him, slamming him into the machine. The glass shatters completely. As Hughes raises his fist to strike a killing blow, Layan grabs a Genesis flower and rips it from the stem. The tree reacts instinctively. Dozens of sharp spikes shoot out, piercing Hughes's face and body. He collapses against the machinery, dead. Police sirens echo through the camp. Officers rush in, armed with proof from Chloe's recording. They arrest Frank's entire collaboration network. One officer carefully retrieves a syringe containing the pure essence, ensuring it will never be used. Chloe and Mira run into the lab, cry with relief when they find Layan still breathing. Mira cradles his head, thanking him for saving countless lives. Then she leans down and kisses him gently. A week later, news networks broadcast Frank's downfall and the shocking truth behind his program. A masked vigilante, unknown to the public, saved the special district. Many believe it was Frank's son, but officials deny it. Segregation laws are abolished. Barriers between districts open for the first time in decades. Mira stands beside Layan proudly, though her voice has been permanently damaged and she can no longer sing. She doesn't mind. She has found a new purpose and a new partner. From a hidden alleyway, a scarred and disfigured Frank watches him silently. He survived, and he is still out there. Make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you never miss more stories like this. Thanks for watching.